hope is that the average license holder and the average Texan feels that this is a different agency than it was 5.5 years ago. And if we've done that, then I think that we have accomplished what we set out to do. That they just know that if they get a complaint filed against them, that it's going to be a fair process. That if they need to file a complaint, that it's going to be a fair process. And that when they renew, the vast majority of our license holders, the only interaction that they have with this agency is when they renew or, when they originally apply. And so I hope that that process, even that simple process is a little bit better or easier than it was before. I'm proud to say that I think that from the enforcement standpoint that appraisers hopefully feel that it's going to be more fair. The meeting before I started as chair, I came and sat in the audience, and there was a respondent from an enforcement case that spoke, and I've talked about his testimony several times over the years, and it felt to me like he felt alone and defeated, and I hope that that never happens to a license holder in the state of Texas again. But at the same time, we just recently revoked a license of an appraiser that was appraising multiple properties in multiple states at the same time by using unlicensed people who did not have background checks going into people's homes. And we had the resources and the desire to do a full investigation, and I think we were either the only state that revoked his license or maybe one of only two, while the other states simply gave probation and fines and that sort of thing. And I'm proud to say that in Texas, you can't send unknown people into homes, that we are not going to stand for that. That's not going to happen in the state of Texas. So I'm proud of both sides of enforcement in that way. And so I would like to thank Governor Abbott for the confidence in asking me to do this and the opportunity to do it, and his staff who answered my many, many questions that I had along the way, for their patience with this transition. I would like to thank not only the 8 board members that are sitting here today, but the other ones along the way that have served with me, for your willingness. These are volunteers. They're volunteering their time to serve the state of Texas and to serve the fellow license holders. And they attend committee meetings, they attend board meetings, they travel to conferences, they do training. There's a lot involved, and it's all volunteer work. And I just appreciate that. Anytime I've asked any of you to dig into something, you've done so, and you have fought for your convictions, but also been willing to compromise so that we can come up with good solutions. I hope that you all are proud of the work that we have all done together and the way that we have served this great state. And I hope that we've had some fun along the way. I want to thank Scott Kessner and all of the commissioners who are on the Real Estate Commission. Scott and I were appointed at the same time, and so we sort of held hands at the beginning and jumped in feet first together. And we've had a great relationship with them and have appreciated all the collaboration over the years. And of course, lastly, to staff, Executive Director Buckholz came on board as the leader at the same time that I was appointed. And so I talk about this also very often. When in early 2020, I said, there's going to be some rough waters ahead, but I think if we do the work now, that there will be, we will sail into smoother waters, and then hopefully hopefully you won't be hearing from me quite so often. And she was absolutely eager to do that. And then of course COVID hit, and she had everything on the commission side, everything on the board side. She had a young child at home at the time, and COVID hit, and somehow we still managed to do it all and get through it all. And without her leadership and her willingness to say yes, or we are going to do our best, or we're going to try, but at the same time, standing for her convictions of what she thought this agency needed to be, always advocating for her staff, always. In behind closed doors, in open meetings, always making sure that her staff was considered in the process. None of this obviously would have been possible without that willingness. And I recall in those early days walking the halls upstairs with you, and at one point we were talking and you stopped. I said, I haven't been able to look at that information, and you stopped and you put your hand on my arm and you said, whatever in this building you need or want access to, you absolutely can have. And that was much different than how it had been previously. And so that sort of set the tone for the next 5 years, that this was going to be a collaborative effort. And it certainly has been, and I hope that we haven't frustrated you too much. And of course, General Counsel Santos also came on shortly after I started, and we have so appreciated the easy working relationship that we have had with you. You had to become a subject matter expert in appraisal regulation, federal and state, and you did so beautifully and have accomplished that and more. So we certainly appreciate working with you. And I would say that all the staff, communications was already kind of underway before I got here, but every part of staff has risen to the challenge and has answered our redundant and relentless questions and done all the things that we have asked of you, and so we certainly appreciate it.